Hi, welcome to AdRoll Live. I am Laura Finity, the Multimedia Content Manager at AdRoll, and we come live every now and again with these kind of wonderful chats to talk a bit about different marketing, different branding topics to hopefully help you grow your business and just kind of share some insights and advice. And today is no different. We're going to be chatting with Chris and Evie, who are from our marketing lifecycle team. Super excited to chat with them about the 2020 guide to holiday email marketing. So we're going to be taking a look at Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday emails, design ideas, tips, how to really make your emails stand out, be that through call to actions or through subject lines, as well, of course, the design and how it all looks. So we're going to get to that very shortly and welcome them here this morning. We are live and we're here in San Francisco. Well, actually, I think also Chris is in Utah, but we're across the US. So it's morning over here, but wherever you're watching from, and be it whether it's post live, you can always get your questions into us. So whether you're on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube or on Twitter or LinkedIn, you can just pop your questions into the chat and they'll come to us here in our little live studio. So please do get any questions in or any comments that you have. You can even just let us know where you're watching from and who you are. We love to say hi to you as well. Before we get Chris and Evie here on the chat, I wanted to also just promote that we have a new ebook out. That's 150 free ways to get your brand noticed. So this basically covers everything from SEO, content, advertising, social media, community. There's a ton of different topics that are covered here. And as you can see just from this little screen grab I've got, lots of short bits of advice perhaps that you can implement into your strategies and things that you want to think about when it comes to any of those topics, ranging from SEO all the way through to email and community. I'm going to pop the link in the chat to that so that you can also just go directly to that ebook and download and have a read through. Please do that. All right, let's get our two guests here this morning. We have here joining us Chris and Evie. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing really well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you both so much for joining today. It's always awesome to share, some insights, knowledge, and just hear a little bit more from the people we have and the experts we have on our team at AdRoll. We're frequently chatting with amazing brands who are growing, and we love sharing their stories, but it's also wonderful to share your expertise. So tell us a little bit about yourselves and the work that you do.
Yeah, so my name is Chris Van Wagoner. I lead our lifecycle marketing team here at AdRoll. Actually, I have an e-commerce background. I come from eBay, and I spent the better part of 15 years helping businesses of all sizes be successful on the platform, grow, apply marketing best practices, better understand their customers. And I brought those learnings, those experiences over to AdRoll, where today my team is largely responsible for enabling our customers through guidance on how to best use our tools, and similarly to eBay, apply digital marketing best practices and be successful as they establish their brands.
Awesome. And Evie, what about yourself?
Hi, my name is Evie Catrieri, and I'm a lifecycle marketing associate here at AdRoll. I have around 5 years of experience working in marketing, and I've worked with brands of all different sizes. The holiday season has always been a very big opportunity for the brands I've worked with. And at the same time, it has been a very busy period for marketing people. So this is a very exciting topic, and I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for joining us. Like I said, I really appreciate it. So talking of 2020 holiday season, in terms of a starting place, I guess, what are we expecting to see this holiday season? And when I say holiday, I'm kind of also, we're approaching Thanksgiving. We've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then of course, after that, Christmas. So what do we feel like we're expecting to see this year?
Well, 2020 has been unique for a wide variety of reasons. And I think that we could spend this entire session talking about how the market has changed and how consumer behavior has changed. One thing that we predict from an AdRoll perspective, and also just one of the things that I'm hearing from former colleagues in the e-commerce space, is that we expect the holiday period to start earlier and to go later. People are indoors. There's strong recommendation that we shouldn't be gathering the same way that we have in the past. And so I think that you'll start to see that influence consumer behavior a little bit, and you'll see less pressure to get that item ready in time for the whatever holiday you're celebrating. So I think that that's one thing that we'll see. I also think that if you take a look at what happened earlier on in the year, you saw certain consumer behaviors change, purchases shift from kind of a local in-person to online. And so I think that we'll see that continue. And small businesses that have migrated their activities to online will see some benefit in that regard. I also think that we'll see some trends just in terms of the categories that are engaged for specific products. Things like indoor and outdoor furniture might be an area that we see some increased activity. And then across the board, things like board games, puzzles, things that people are like leveraging inside as they're quarantining, or as they're trying to stay out of harm's way, and all of those sorts of things. So I think that there are a lot of different characteristics that we'll see just in terms of consumer behavior shift, and these are among some of the things that Evie and I are thinking about as we manage our life cycle activities.
Yeah, there's certainly also, I find myself looking at my own habits as a consumer, what am I doing? For example, during the elections, I was doing quite a lot of stress buying. I realized I spent quite a lot of money online that week because I was just so obviously, I don't know, just a coping mechanism perhaps. But I am thinking about my own kind of behavior, and thinking how also other people are probably doing a lot of the same things as I am, be it through home purchases or things to distract myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's almost become Pavlovian, right? Like we hear a knock at the door and we automatically assume it's another package from Amazon or wherever we may have purchased from recently. So I think that people are creating those expectations around purchasing online and receiving items from different sites that they purchase from frequently.
And what about for 2020, as in when it comes to say like Black Friday, we're seeing in general like projections for obviously like higher amount of spend, but also obviously things starting earlier, like deals starting earlier, and there being more of a kind of like ramp up to those moments and those holidays.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see that happen. I mean, we've actually seen a trend over recent years, probably the last 5 or so. Just in terms of Black Friday isn't what it used to be, and that's largely based on this shift to online. But the holiday period for shoppers starts much earlier than it ever has, and I think that 2020 just has accelerated that sort of behavior. So people are even going as far back as last month, starting to think about what items can I begin to purchase for the holidays, either for myself or for those that I care about. And so I think that you'll see kind of an earlier ramp in terms of those behaviors leading up to Black Friday next week.
Perfect. So why is having an email marketing strategy really important? Why is it recommended, and why should brands and companies be really focusing on this?
So email marketing should be an integral part of a marketing strategy. It's not only the newsletters that we may think about or the product announcements, but it's also a very big variety of different strategies that brands can take advantage of, like the welcome email that they can send to new customers. It can be the car recovery email to bring back some visitors. Or for some e-commerce brands, it can be like the birthday email or the holiday season campaigns. So we're talking about a very big, a very vast variety of strategies that brands can take advantage of. With emails, brands can connect again with their audience. they can promote their brand values and their unique design, and also increase sales and help some transactions get completed. So it's a very good investment of time of the brands to set up all those campaigns. And based on different studies and different industries, we have seen that email as a channel can have a very good return on investment. So depending on the industry, we have seen that for every dollar spent, brands can have a return of around $38 to $42, which is very, very impressive. And it's very exciting for brands to see this return. And then what is very cool with email marketing is that it can offer very scalable, personalized experiences. This means that brands can show products that customers show some interest in, or target customers based on like demographics, and then create like very personalized experiences that help get the attention of a customer, which is very, very important during the holiday season.
Yeah, because it's definitely, you're fighting for a lot of space and a lot of attention. I feel, of course, like a lot of companies have emails going out, and keeping track of that as a customer and kind of even just having the time and attention can be part of the challenge. So I guess that's a good lead into like the next question, which is, what are the main challenges that that companies are facing when it comes to creating emails and kind of putting those together for the holiday season?
That's interesting. On the back of just the value of email, one thing that Evie and I talk about quite often is just like the immediacy of results. You can understand what the response is pretty early on. So adjusting your approach is definitely something that you can do pretty quickly based on things that you're seeing and things, some of the vanity metrics that people pay attention to, like open rate or click through or some of those other things. So I think that one challenge that businesses will likely encounter is just the inability to kind of gauge market response, especially given kind of the shifting landscape. So that's one of the other benefits to creating these email campaigns, is you can quickly turn on some of these early signals that you have access to create a campaign that's more effective or better resonates with customers that are thinking about different things going into the holiday season. I think one of the other things that could be challenging, or maybe should just be thought more deeply about, is taking advantage of the earlier start time for the holiday, and in making sure that you're beating this kind of drum leading up to the holiday and driving awareness, so that when it comes time to make that purchase, that your buyers are ready to go. That they've already been thinking about products that you offer and about your brand specifically, and they're ready to take advantage of how you've uniquely placed your business. So that's definitely something that I think is going to be challenging for folks, but I think is extremely important to be thinking about, just to get things in early, start to build this narrative, and start to tease, so to speak, customers as you get closer and closer to that period which they're actually going to be purchasing. So that's one thing I would definitely identify as a challenge, is just making sure that you're thoughtful about some of those early campaigns. I think design and copy more generally is going to be a challenge as well. One thing that Evie and I have talked about is just this natural inclination to try and chase what everybody else is doing. And so you'll get an email from Amazon or from eBay or from Target or from Walmart, and there I think is this compelling need to emulate what they're doing with your own strategy. And so I think that it'll be challenging just to create kind of design and copy that truly reflects your brand and the products that you offer. And so making sure that you're cognizant of that going into the holidays, I think, will also be extremely important.
I do have an example here, which is one that you'd shared, which is from Patagonia in terms of trying to do things, trying to do things differently and not necessarily trying to just go for the same look and feel as some of the likes of Amazon. So what is it about this example that you felt was, really stood out or was great?
Well, I love the Patagonia brand just in general because they do stay true to their core values, core principles. One thing that I heard many times over the course of my time at eBay was, Amazon is so difficult to compete with. I don't have access to the economies of scale that they do, and as a result, they're always going to beat me on price. Well, behind closed doors, the Amazons and the eBays of the world, they're talking about how they can't reach the niche, and how small businesses that are building their brands on the backs of like these core principles, just like Patagonia, Amazon has a real difficult time addressing those needs. Mm-hmm. So making sure that your brand is clearly represented in the creative design, in the language that you use, in the products that you highlight is something that, again, that the massive corporations out there like Amazon and Walmart, they're not going to have the level of specialization to get in and address those niche markets that smaller businesses do. And so I think that that's an important element that needs to ring true through the holiday campaigns that folks are creating.
Yeah, I definitely feel just from the companies that we work with, that I've spoken to, I just see reoccurring and kind of growing themes as well around sustainability, transparency, especially for anything that is perhaps like a food or a health-based product, as well as clothing, all that kind of stuff. And if you have any opportunity in your brand to really highlight that and dig into that through your, all your branding, not just in your emails, right? It's going to hopefully just build that awareness, and then also be that top of mind when people, are looking for things like Christmas gifting or whatever it may be. We've got also, you'd mentioned some great points there, just about like in terms of what kind of emails you can create as part of the sequences that you might want to be putting out there. How about how that stands out visually? What are some of the best examples you've seen? I know we've got some of them lined up here.
Yeah, so during this period and in general overall, we see that people receive so many emails in their inbox. And it can be a crowded space, and it can be very hard to stand out through that noise. So brands can use their unique design or their own values to stand out. They can have like their own promotional ideas that can be creative and out of the box. We have seen some e-commerce brands that focus on curating like collections of items and creating very, very good content, like some gift guides and giving ideas to consumers. Or we have seen other brands creating like product bundles and offering discounts when you buy more than one, based on like the functionality or the design of a product. You can gamify that offer. You can offer like additional discounts, or you can offer rewards and like points and any other loyalty program that you may have. And what is standing out, and it's becoming a trend, is creating like limited time offers. It can be daily or hourly, and that can grab the attention of customers.
Awesome. Yeah, I always love a loyalty program, and also just one of those like website spinners where you get to spin it and you get like a discount or something. As it's a child in me that like, oh, it's a game. I want to get involved. We have some examples here then. So in terms of first up, as a teaser, this was one of the examples that you'd shared. What is it about this in particular that you liked, or what kind of stood out about this type of message and design?
So I love that example. It has this element of mystery. You don't really see the new product. It's a new limited time watch product line. It has a very detailed design. It's very on brand. And the header there that let the countdown begin is very timely for this period of time. We need to create like urgency, and this type of teaser can create some buzz that you need as a brand before it's time for the holidays. So that's why I really like this example.
Awesome. And then we also, in terms of early access, this was an example you'd shared.
Yeah, so this is an Australian company, and they offer advanced hearing technology buds. And this is a company that would not be traditionally offering like a seasonal campaign. But what I really like about them is that the whole design is very on brand. The product images are very high quality. They have this like reports and some customer reviews usually. The header, we will say that again. It has a pun and a humor, which is very important this period of time, the bit first to hear about. So that creates the early access and urgency that you need for Black Friday, but it's also humorous for the type of product that they promote. And then we can also see the CTA, the call to action button that says sign up for SMS. A lot of brands are doing that. They let customers sign up for notifications for the upcoming deals. And this is a very good way to create a healthy list of customers that are interested in what you're offering, and they would be the first one wants to buy.
And SMS is always interesting because I feel like it feels like a low commitment, even less more so sometimes than an email, even though it's more personal and it's going direct to your phone, which feels like a very, the alert is a bit more kind of like personal perhaps than an email is, or a bit more striking than an email may be. But I always feel like, it's only going to be like 45 characters or something. Like, how annoying could that be? Or like, how much can they test me? But perhaps that's the naive mentality that I'm going in with the SMS sign up. But
yeah. And all those push notifications and SMS, we see a very, very good open rate. So it's a very good investment of time and resources to set up those type of notifications.
Perfect. We also have an example of urgency that you'd mentioned a moment ago as well. So this one's from Withings.
Mm-hmm. So what I really like about this example is that the call to action button is above the fold. So the subscriber will get that email, and the first thing that they're gonna see is that button that works. Also, they have created different sections in the email that showcase different products. And for each product, there is like a very good quality product image. There is a very short description. And then there is like the discount that they offer for Black Friday and for the holiday season, which is different for each one of those categories. And this is something that fashion brands, cosmetics, lots of different e-commerce brands are doing. They offer different levels of discounts depending on the category.
Perfect. And then a couple of last image examples we've got here. One is around gift ideas. Find that image, there it is. So this was one that you'd shared. What is it about this setup that you feel is eye-catching?
So what works with this specific email is the fact there is like almost no text. It's all about the product and the images. This type of emails can be very personalized based on the customer's past shopping behavior. So the gift ideas may be something complimentary. It can be accessories, can be anything related to what they have already purchased. Or they can also be gift ideas for others. So depending on the type of brand and then Alexa, you know what type of gifts people purchase from your e-shop. Then you may have like gifts for him, gifts for her, or they can be even more unique based on what you offer.
Awesome. And then this one here is for clickable. So this is more about being able to really kind of interact with what you're seeing in the image and in the email.
Yeah, we see more and more brands doing this. This type of design to have like clickable icons or products in an email works perfectly for any fashion, apparel, home and furniture, cosmetics brand. Um, and we will see that usually they use like product bundles and they create these nice visuals of different products together. And then when you click, let's say, for example, that bag, then you will go directly to that page to purchase that bag specifically. And that saves time for the customer. And we know that anything that will save time for our audience is something that we should do.
Yeah, there's a real like immediate visual nature to the holidays, and so I think by designing communication around these behaviors helps you to see greater throughput and greater activity on your site, which is why we see a number of these examples coming through with how people have designed their strategies.
I also feel with this last one, you know, with shopping or, you know, with using platforms like Instagram and Facebook and where you're able to really directly link from product, I think people kind of are building a bit more of an expectation to have that immediate kind of like pathway from here's the image for the product to the information about the sale of the product. So I feel like in an email, it kind of just tags on to how other people perhaps are shopping on other social platforms that they're engaging with, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure.
So what about the recommended kind of strategy in terms of, obviously everything we're talking about builds up and leads into that strategy, but what advice do you have for some of the kind of sequences and things like that?
Well, we talked a little bit about building suspense, right? And I think that creating a campaign, a drip-like campaign that starts early and communicates often will help build, again, those story beats that we're talking about. One other thing that I found effective in years past is to create kind of exclusivity with campaigns that you create, offering things to email subscribers that your buyers or your customers wouldn't otherwise have access to. Is definitely something that's an effective use of time and strategy. One other thing, and Evie actually gave a presentation on this at Litmus earlier on in the year, but connected communication strategies. Email doesn't need to just be email, but with all of the different communication tools at your disposal, you can start with email. You can continue that same conversation with in-app messaging if you have access to it. The email campaign no longer has to be singular to just leveraging email, but can be multifaceted and use multiple communication tools. And you can carry through kind of that visual design that you have in your emails. Prompt within your site that same visual design. I think continuing the conversation and reminding your customers why you're so important to them, and reminding them of some of the different products that they can purchase from you is really important. And then lastly, one thing that we've been focusing a lot on recently is cart recovery or cart abandonment. We're seeing, just because there's so many options out there on the net to purchase items from different marketplaces or different merchants, cart abandonment has actually increased over recent years. Mm-hmm. So just making sure that you're aware of that and you're creating campaigns to remind folks that have added things to their cart or engaged with your site to complete the transaction is going to be an important thing to retain those customers and get them to continue to purchase from you in the future, but also just to save that purchase they were considering initially. So that'll be an important thing for folks to consider going into the holiday as well.
That's definitely a good teaser for next month on the live stream. We're going to be really focusing on cart abandonment, and sometimes, of course, confusion with checkout abandonment versus cart abandonment. They are actually two different things and two different things to be thinking about. So we're going to touch more on that next month. But I thought I would share this infographic here just to show a little bit of why it's important to think about the abandoned cart, the abandoned shopping carts. You can see there 21% of abandoned cart recovery emails get click-throughs, and 50% of those clicks convert into customers. So incredibly strong, and encouraging statistics to see there, and definitely worth thinking about including that in your email strategy to make sure that while these holiday shoppers might be kind of looking around, looking for the various deals and deciding what to purchase, and then abandoning their cart, that there are ways perhaps that you can get them back, get them interested, and make a sale and make them a customer.
Yep. And related to cart abandonment and the holidays, most people in marketing think about cart recovery sequence as an evergreen sequence, but we can optimize that for the holidays. We can spice up the subject line to reference the holidays. We can add like a holiday emoji there. We can have an on-brand design related to the campaign that we're running on like social media or other on ads or anything else. So cart recovery can also be a holiday themed sequence, and people often forget that.
Love it. And I love an emoji. Definitely a fan of an emoji always. What about rewarding customers during this time? Are the holidays a great time to reward loyal customers?
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. It's a good time to reward loyal customers. And I think that can come in multiple forms, right? Either through a discount. One thing that I've actually appreciated recently from some of the smaller businesses that I've purchased from online is that they'll include like a gift that I wasn't even planning on. Just a little something to remind me that they're loyal to their customers and that I should be loyal to them. So lots of different things that you should do to think about how to reward those loyal customers. One other thing that Evie and I talk about a lot are just things like VIP programs, right? People love to be part of exclusive clubs, and especially if you're purchasing frequently from a site, to be recognized for your constant transactional activity is an important thing, and being recognized as part of that VIP club or that program, or being given access to things that you wouldn't otherwise receive, just creates another incentive to continue to go back to that site and make purchases in the future. So.
Awesome. I didn't think you were going to say no to that when you always want to be rewarding your loyal customers no matter what, right? But good to emphasize that this is another opportunity, in a way, a time of year to do that. What about beyond the holidays then? So does your relationship with holiday shoppers, does it need to end after this season? Like what can you take forward from here?
Yeah, definitely not. Like I said, we're thinking about holidays over across a much larger period of time. One thing that I'm often reminded of is Boxing Day, which isn't a holiday that's observed nearly as frequently as folks up north in Canada, but just the idea of a day after Christmas that people go to local stores or go online for deals or different things. I think that there's an appetite, a natural appetite to continue to shop and purchase, to leverage those gift cards that you accumulated during the holidays. One thing that we've actually observed and read in a number of different studies is that gift card sales are on the rise, and it's been that way year over year for multiple years now. And I think that's to address, there's also a similar study just around consumer behavior that indicates that over 50% of consumers are unhappy with the gifts that they receive. So it's probably trying to avoid that difficult conversation with your significant other when you didn't get that thing that they were hoping for, and allowing them to actually, after the holidays, go online and actually buy that gift that they were really hoping to receive. So I think that marketers should be thinking about, how do we continue the momentum, and how do we take the holidays into 2021 and make sure that we're engaging with customers that have access to some additional funds that need to be spent.
Yeah, I always forget about, I mean, Boxing Day here in the UK, it's a big one. That's actually probably our like equivalent of a Black Friday, where shops will open their doors and there'll be a line outside type thing, traditionally. And so, you know, I kind of forget that now being in the US market, where Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and, you know, all kind of Thanksgiving starts everything off early. Whereas in the UK, Boxing Day is pretty much like where the sales are at and everything like that. So super interesting. What about for documenting the journey then? So basically, you know, after all is said and done, and I'm really fascinated to see what we see in terms of numbers by the time we kind of get to the end of the year, just to see what kind of year this is like for e-commerce and sales over the holidays. What about assessing the success and taking that forward into 2021?
Boy, that's a tough one. You know, taking a look at performance is always a tricky thing, and disambiguating all the different signals that you have access to. I think as we've talked about 2020 in general, and just the myriad ways that this has been a year to forget and a year to analyze in terms of consumer behavior. I think avoiding the natural inclination to compare this year to previous years is going to be an important thing. But taking inventory of how your customers engaged with collateral, with the emails that you've put together, the strategies that you put together, I think is an important thing that can be leveraged for time in the future. But that's definitely one thing that we're definitely looking to avoid, is just making comparisons that shouldn't be just given kind of the uncharacteristic nature of the year and some of these things that we've observed.
Yeah, definitely a valid point. Sorry, Evie, were you going to say something? I think I might have cut you off there.
Yeah, I was saying that it's not just the assessment of the income, it's also the assessment of like the engagement, like the open rate, that may be higher or lower for some brands. So let's wait a little bit, give our campaigns some time to run, and let's assess the performance in a few days after the holidays.
I think the thing too is that, like, I think there also is this natural inclination to take a look at like revenue that was driven to the business, right? And the number of transactions that you produced from your different campaigns. But experience is also an important element of a strong holiday campaign. And I think that things like voice of the customer, figuring out what mechanisms you can put in place for post-holiday to understand the experiences that your customers had with your brand, is an important thing to do in retrospective, just to understand how you might be able to leverage similar strategies in the future to create similar experiences.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping, you know, as we do more things like this with our live streams and also webinar programs, we'll be able to help viewers to be able to kind of decipher, go through all that information and figure out like how to use that and how to put it to the benefit for upcoming campaigns. And, you know, hopefully this year's is going to provide a lot more data, which is always great to have, right? The more you have, the more you know. So really, like I said before, really excited to see how this all comes together. But no matter what, we all deserve prizes, gifts, and rests in 2020 by the time we get to the end of it. So, you know, hopefully people can enjoy the holiday season and, you know, after putting all of this together, all that hard work, like actually have some time out to rest and reflect, you know?
Yep.
Thank you both so much for joining today. Really appreciate you taking the time to chat. And I know that you probably recognize this person here, Christy Payton, who is a customer we have worked with from Payton Jewelry. So thanks for the tips. So thanks for putting a message in, and thanks for saying hi, Christy. Appreciate it. But thank you both. Anybody has any questions, I always love to encourage them to add that to the comments, and we can always get them to Chris and Evie. They're here on the team, kind of always working behind the scenes, and would love to help with any like questions you have, any thoughts you have. So I'm sure you guys don't mind me saying that, but please do get your comments and questions in if you want to find out any more information. Well, thank you so much. I'll let you guys go and speak to you again soon.
That's great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All right, there we go. Chris and Evie there from our lifecycle marketing team. Huge thank you to them for joining us today, and just in time, because I don't know if you can see that the sun is shining directly on my face. The closer I got, I'm getting closer to the monitor as the sun is closing in on me here. Right, before I go here this morning though, I just want to let you know about the next upcoming, I teased ahead to the next upcoming live stream that we have, which is going to be all about cart abandonment. Finding out a little bit more about what that means and how that is different from checkout abandonment as well. Some advice, tips on how to reduce that and why it's important for you and your company. That's going to be on the 18th of December. But if you follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of these places, you can't miss information coming out about that. We're going to be promoting it, and you'll be able to set a reminder to come and join us on that next live stream. I'll also post a link to that ebook that I was talking about earlier, the 150 ways to get your brand noticed. I'm going to chuck that into all the chats across the social networks now so that you can download that and check it out. As for now, though, that's all we've got for AdRoll Live. We'll be back on the 18th of December. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful, rest of the month. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll speak with you again soon.